we know the deal. We know the deal. There's no need for a debrief. There's no need for this mission's details to be too drawn out and complicated, because we know what the primary objective is. I guess it's twofold. Have a good workout, know that I pushed myself hard, but in doing so, finish the workout with a good pump. Now, is that, yeah, I'd go as far as to say the pump is a pretty solid way to judge not just your workout. I think that gets a little bit too short-sighted, but the pump is a perfect way to judge kind of your overall preparedness as well as your workout quality. Because if I don't get any fucking sleep, odds are the pump is going to suffer. If I don't drink enough fluids, odds are the pump is going to suffer. If I don't have enough food in my system, at least for that given day, right, even if I'm dieting down, I still want to have some meals, the pump is going to suffer. If I didn't get enough sleep, yeah, you get what I'm saying? So it's not so much that you should be chasing better pumps. It's that you should be setting yourself up in your day outside of the gym to have better pumps more consistently. And honestly, that's not a fucking terrible way to go about it if that's how you want to kind of simplify your approach. Because then like, okay, I gotta get some sleep, I need more than my 5 hours. Or, okay, yeah, I should probably drink more than just one fucking, or 2 Diet Cokes. That's probably not enough to get you reasonably hydrated. Whereas, if you were to have like a fucking gallon jug with you at all times, slap some electrolyte mix in there as well, which honestly I think is the real important part of that statement, you're gonna feel fucking sweet. Again, I was just talking to one of my buddies at the gym. He goes, "Oh, dude, I got a fucking splitting headache." I asked him, I feel kind of bad for calling him out directly because he knows I'm talking about him. But I was like, "What's your fluid intake like, man? How many electrolytes are you getting today?" And he points at like a half-drink bottle of Gatorade Zero, and he's like, "There it is." Dude, that is nothing. That is nothing. Honestly, something like a Gatorade Zero is kind of a sweet treat, but that's not something that I would immediately start sipping on if I was trying to get like maximized hydration per se. That's where a lot of electrolyte sort of packets or like tub kind of mixes are a little bit more up my alley, because it's got fucking every every electrolyte plus all sorts of extra vitamins and stuff in there, just everything. So I'll slam a couple of those per day. And what I was going to say was zero headaches. Zero fucking headaches, right? There is no headache medicine. There is no yoga therapy. There's no anything that's going to be more effective at preventing your fucking frequent recurring headaches than being sufficiently hydrated. Because that's the main fucking cause. Apart from like random other kind of medical cases. Wasn't a med student. But the real kind of issue that happens, which makes your head fucking hurt, and when you're working out, this just fucking exacerbates the problem, is when the pressure, the fluid pressure, because your whole body's full of water, between your brain and the rest of your body gets out of whack. Because you can basically look at it as though your brain is wrapped around a big ass rubber balloon. It's a blood-brain membrane. I'm saying the word brain a lot, but just follow me. So mainly, your body only lets water and some other fancy stuff in your brain. They don't want everything that's floating around you to get in there because it's kind of a sensitive part of your body. But in that process, it's not like super quick. So if your brain gets overhydrated per se, it basically swells up a little bit and it's pushing on that outside membrane. It's going to give you a headache. And if it's a little bit too dry, right, it's kind of down a little bit fluids and it shrinks down, it's kind of pulling on you. You want your fucking brain to be the same size at all times in there. And by getting a steady stream of electrolytes, having a good sodium intake, coupled with a lot of fluids, that is going to happen. And I'm not really concerned with high sodium intake because I'm still drinking like upwards of a gallon of fluids per day. be it from like a diet whatever, or like artificial sweetened stuff, that's still about a gallon-ish of just straight up water. And I don't know where you guys get off by saying shit uh, like a diet soda is going to dehydrate you. What? I mean, yeah, it's not packed full of electrolytes like something like a little electrolyte mix would have, but just drinking a diet soda does not fucking dehydrate you. I don't know where that got propagated. If I were to be subject to only drink diet soda every day instead of water, which I probably wouldn't mind too much, I do like it, but I'm sure I'd get tired of it if that's all I could drink. I'm not suddenly going to die of dehydration. You know what I'm saying? So don't. There's all sorts of little random fucking tidbits of just goofy ass information about dieting and training, and that's where you've got to keep your head on a swivel and be ready to say like, oh, okay, that's some good information right there. Okay, that's stupid. You only said that because some guy in your gym 30 years ago said that, and you thought he was big, so you believed him. You know. So, and that goes for me too. That goes for me too. I'm not exempt. I try my best to say some shit that's going to relate to all lifters, any level. If you go hard, eat enough food, get your sleep, probably going to get results. I can say that pretty openly. I don't think that's a controversial statement in any way. But even when I say some random shit, and you're like, Sam, I don't know about that. Don't just don't just take it to heart then. Don't just take that as fact. Right? I'm not spewing the gospel here. I'm just giving you my take on what I know about fucking lifting weights and getting pumped up to hell. But playing for arms, you know the deal. Push downs, all sorts of other curls and stuff. Nothing too complicated. But I'll kind of discuss my thought process as we go on, because I think sometimes I kind of just do sets without actually really explaining them. Like I'll jump from straight bar push downs to the rope, and I'll kind of just say, the rope feels good, but there is a little bit more to that. So I'm going to try to get a little bit more open with you when I talk about what I'm doing and why. I mean, that's the whole point, right? But let's just get in there. All right, so rather than start with a crazy heavy set of push downs where I do like both the stacks connected together into one handle, I'm going to start with a bit of a lighter squeezing set, kind of a cross body sort of something or other like this. Really hold it at the bottom. Basically just kind of a burnout. And then I might do some lighter or some heavier sets after these. That is if I can get a good song playing. Yeah. Oh my god. One more, same weight. Oh my god. Okay, one more, and then more of a heavy push down. Come on. Oh my God. Okay. Let's do some straight bar. All right, nothing crazy, not even extra weight on the stack. This will just be a very controlled squeezing set of push downs. So any form fanatics, I'm sure you love this workout so far. No swinging or nothing. No. No. Oh yeah. One more, at least. Oh my God. One more. A little wider grip on this one. Actually, a lot wider grip. Okay. All right. Make one more set of a little something, and then move on. Doesn't take much. There we go. 2 long D handles. Perfect combination between a straight bar push down and a rope. Because you get that overhand strength, but you also get that separating squeeze. So this is a little bit lighter, maybe 2/3 the weight I was just doing for straight bar. Make this a squeezing set. If I feel fully pumped, I'm all done. But you may have to do one more. Just, that's something I'll have to decide after. Yeah. 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 Okay. Let's make it drop that. Okay. Let's start some curls. Tries on. 60s will be nice. I think I might actually do a lighter set for this next one. This we just set of the 40s. Not straight up reps. Gonna go halfway up, pause it, then finish. Just kind of some added intensity. Oh my gosh. Whew. Okay. So that was not a set. That was like a complete pure muscular failure. But I still call that a good set just from the fucking burn that I'm getting. A little bit more volume based. But I don't think that was as taxing as like curl in the 80s or something. But let's do one more. It's been a while since I've done these incline bench curls. Just did a feeler rep. Really good fucking stretch. So I think this would be a perfect next movement. Not too heavy either, just the 40s. Oh my god, fuck. Ugh. Oh. One more. Ooh. The stretch on this is fucking sweet. I haven't done this for at least like 8 months. I gotta throw these back in. Oh, fuck. Oh my god, fuck. Oh. Yeah. One more. There we go. One more little tidbit about how I'm doing these is I like my hands a little bit lower on the dumbbell so that, you know, the sort of base of my fist is right up against the bottom. Just kind of helps me feel more bicep than forearm. But come on. Okay. Yeah. 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 Oh my god, fuck. Okay. Oh, all right. Honestly, I think that might be all I want to do. Yeah, fuck it. Let's go check the pump, man. We're done. And I will explain. I kind of didn't really talk that much this lift. I'll tell you what I was thinking. All right, the typical pose down spot was occupado, but right here's fine. A little bit of down lighting, a little bit of natural lighting from the windows. All you gotta do is run through a couple fucking standard poses, and then we're all done. But I would call this, yeah, I mean, it's no question. This pump is within the realm of fucking nastiness. And honestly, even just standing here, no shoulder pump, not even really doing a flex, just kind of standing without doing anything, I feel like a total nutcase, which is a very fucking good thing. Oh, looks like we got to start with the side tricep. Take care. All right, that's nasty. Now this is why I say you need to fucking slam rear delts. Honestly, I think rear delts should be the main priority of your shoulder days because they give your shoulder this rounded over look. Like, see how it's got its own bump on the back above the tricep? That's from slamming heavy face pulls, heavy bent over like raises like that. You get the gist. So let's run through a couple. We can start with an Atlas. More of a TikToker pose, but still kind of fucking cool. Oh, oh my goodness. All right. Let's, what else is there? Classic crucifix. Oh shit. All right, now that's fucking cool. A little more of a Yujiro style here. And then, oh yeah. Oh. All right. Arms disgustingly pumped. I'm actually really fucking, I mean, not that I'm surprised, but I'm very happy with this lift. And a little bit more of a light one. You know, I wasn't doing any kind of crazy extra weights. And part of that was just because my fucking elbow in here is a little bit tender. I didn't get it recorded because I was just warming up. But I was squatting at a Smith machine And as I'm warming up, I got 4 plates. I was just kind of barely holding the bar with my fingers. I go to rack it, and it slips behind me, kind of fucking pulled on my arms in a weird way. So, not seriously hurt, but if you ever have a little twinge or a little hint of something, what you would consider an ache or pain, and you can tell that if you go too heavy or if you do a specific kind of movement that you're really flaring it up, you got to be careful. Because more likely than not, if you keep doing that and every lift you're like, oh yeah, my elbow fucking really hurts when I bench, I'll just deal with it. You keep doing it, you're going to reach a point where you just fucking pretty much either rip your shit or you've got a new permanent ache and pain that is just going to consistently fucking nag you. So I'm not the best historically at not getting hurt in the gym. I definitely get my occasional tweak and pull, but whenever I do have something that's out of whack, I always pump the brakes, slow down. So today, a little lighter lift. You can tell me, I think the pump was still pretty fucking solid. And it's good to change it up anyway. Can't be doing a heavy day every time. So let's get in the car and roll. So, looks like I've changed my mind. I'm only gonna do light set workouts because today I had a good workout doing light sets. Does that sound right to you? Does that sound right to you? I mean, come on. Like, I think this is kind of an unfortunate, like the nature of the argument is almost a little bit flawed when people kind of bring up like just generalized training styles as though one is objectively superior to another. You know, like oh yeah, I do a lot of high volume, low weight, pump up workouts, or I do a little lower volume, kind of higher intensity, heavier weight workouts. Or look, they're all workouts, and everybody that does them, regardless of the style, consistently and hard, ends up getting gains, right? Every Mensa fanatic and every OJ, every OG, Jay Cutler workout follower, pretty different styles. Not would say, definitely different styles. They all get fucking big. If you work out hard, you got your diet on point, you're training, sleep, and everything. So what that tells me is, okay, I want to have consistently good, stimulating workouts, and a lot of different stuff works. So I'm inclined to believe that there is serious benefit from having a lot of mechanical tension in your sets. So what I mean by that is doing some heavy shit. I'm talking, have a day where you do heavy curls where you actually hit real failure at like 8 reps, or you do incline bench press where you need a spotter at rep number 5 to give you some assisted reps. Don't do that if you're a total beginner. Sometimes the getting assisted reps is a little bit funky if you're not like really experienced with the bar. But what I'm saying there is, I like a heavy set and having serious tension and mechanical load in whatever muscle I'm targeting. I get good workouts, and I've gotten good results doing it. But I also like lighter squeezing sets where I'm kind of, more so fighting the burn. So it's almost like you've got two basic, crazy, or two basic, sides of the spectrum. You've got heavy ass mechanical tension on this side of the screen, and you've got lighter squeezing, burning, hard contraction kind of sets way over here. Now, if you go too far on either spectrum, I think that's a little bit too far for a bodybuilding context. You're not going to catch me doing dumbbell curls with the 10-pound dumbbells over here for like 100 reps and really squeezing every single one. I don't necessarily think that's going to have a massive muscle growing effect. But you're also not going to catch me do a 1-rep bicep curl, even though it has the most mechanical tension in my bicep. That's fucking way too much. I'm probably going to rip them off, and then I'm going to be totally screwed and not even make any gains, even if I did do the rep. So this middle ground, I'm talking sets where you go as heavy as you possibly can. Like, you're amped up, You're fucking excited. You're taking a few huffs and puffs. You hit this, you got your music playing perfectly. A set where you get 8 reps and that is absolute failure, I think is perfect. And for me, that's about the lower end that I would want to go. I never like I wish that I would do a powerlifting competition if if it wasn't a 1 rep max, but if it was an 8 rep max, right? I would definitely enter an 8 rep max bench press or an 8 rep max squat off. Not deadlifts though. I don't deadlift. But for me, I think 8 reps is the lowest amount that I would want to do for a heavy set. Any heavier than that, I think maybe pushing it a little bit too far into the danger zone. And then in terms of higher volume sets, 20 I've got no problem with. And on occasion, I get into the 30s sometimes. That's usually with lighter squeezing sets at the end of the workout. And those don't make up all my volume. Those are just kind of the two outliers for my training. So in between is kind of the sweet spot. That's where most of my sets are. Pretty much as heavy as I can go, failure-ish, around 12 repetitions. Or, 15 or whatever. Like around there, that's a sweet spot. I was just talking to one of the trainers at the gym. I heard him talking about macros and whatever. That's my shit. And we're talking about different training styles and fast twitch and slow twitch, and I'm like, so, like I was trying to say, the whole point of me even bringing this up was, don't get so tied up with trying to figure out the best way to, go about it. You're climbing the same mountain regardless. If you want to go up the fucking heavier, lower volume, high intensity, actually, I think high intensity is fucking stupid. Every set that you do should be pretty fucking intense. So that's not maybe the best descriptor. But whether you want to climb this mountain of gains on the trail that says lower rep heavy weight style, or higher rep lower weight volume style, or whatever the hell else in between, as long as you go hard, I think you're probably going to be on track. I see guys all the time, and it kind of upsets me when I see it. It's sets that are taken to fucking, let's just say a grading scale of intensity of 0 to 100. I see so much volume that is around like 20% intensity or below. Like I see sets where these guys aren't even trying. And it sucks because you came to the gym, you took this time out of your day, you're doing your workout, which I would assume you at least want to do a little bit, otherwise you wouldn't be in there. But then you're kind of just fucking, you got a failure to launch if you come into the gym and your intensity is the same as like, somebody in a retirement home. If you're young and spry, you got to be going hard, man. So let's just say this, that does not kinder joy for me when I see somebody do a set like that. Oh man. And what really irks me too is the fact that there are so many people doing sets like that, doing workouts with that level of intensity and dedication, and then they're also, commenting on the online discourse about what training style works the best. It's like, what do you mean what training style works the best? You're not even training. You can be in the gym and you can pick up a dumbbell and do some curls, but that does not mean that you're working out. That means that you're just going through the fucking motions. And if you're doing that for the majority of your workouts, I mean, even close to half of them, then, oh, if you're making gains, I am surprised. But I guess if you're making gains, then you're on the right track. So what the hell do I know? That's kind of that's the final judgment of whether the training and the dieting that you're doing is even, effective at all. It's whether or not it works for you. If you're growing, if you're getting bigger, if you're getting stronger, if you're trying to diet down, you're getting leaner, and guess what? What you're doing is working. And that's a very noticeable result. So if you've been working out for 6 months, if you've been working out for a year, which anything year and above, I'm sorry to have to tell you this, if you're really the exact same, let's say just fitness level, be it strength, size, leanness, then you haven't really, well, this isn't even that's not even a question. You haven't progressed at all. You've just stayed in the exact same spot. So all the work that you've been doing in your workouts has only been enough to maintain your current state. So, you can't, as you train, you got to at least try to beat inflation. Like if you stay in the same spot over time, then you're just kind of toiling away, I think. And now the only caveat to that is if you're in your final result, then you don't need to fucking grow anymore. You're fucking perfect already. Eventually I'm going to get to a point where I feel like I've got enough muscle on my frame and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Let's just maintain this at lean body fat for the foreseeable future. Keep getting good pumps, keep looking like a freak. Love it. But that's not right now. Right now I'm locking in gear because I know that I want to fucking grow. And then, well, right now I've got to kind of diet down as the opposite state of being so that when I do try to grow, I get to grow harder or grow more. But that requires fucking effort. That requires time, So if you're the type of guy who can actually manage to lock his diet down, look up like how to eat to bulk, there's an infinite amount of fucking videos on YouTube about everything fitness related. Now, some of it's bullshit. You got to be able to filter through that. But you can, there's more videos talking about dieting than you could even watch in your lifetime. The information is there. The only barrier that's stopping you from getting to it is whether or not you really want to, So that's not a rhetorical question either. If you don't want to get into it, and this is a large chunk of guys, which no reason to rip on them. They like to train hard. They come to the gym, they do their workout, they're in decent shape. And I don't mean like by my judgment or anything. It's like they feel like I'm in decent shape, I'm doing good. I don't want to worry about my diet, I want to eat what I want. Sweet, man, live your truth. But if you know deep down you want more gains, if you know that you want to be progressing more than you are right now, and you're not really optimizing every factor of your kind of outside the gym routine as much as you think you probably could and should, then you got to change something. Be it diet, the training intensity, not skipping so many gyms to just hang out with your bros or slack off or whatever the hell else. Because it's going to pay off. That's the part of working out, which is fucking crazy cool. It's like, you pretty much have a pool of gains. You've got a pit of gains, a big ass just hole in the ground. Every time you do a workout, you're throwing gravel into it, or you're filling it up with water. Over time, as long as you're actually doing good workouts and your recovery and your diet is enough to sufficiently recover from them, and in a bulking context, recover extra and put on some muscle tissue underneath, then it's no question. The fact, or not the fact, but the idea like, okay, is this training going to work? Am I going to be able to grow muscle? It's not a question. You will. And pretty much everybody fucking can. I do not see the argument like, oh, my genetics are, oh, I can't, dude, your genetics statistically are not that fucking bad. Now, you gotta remember, the majority of everybody just has regular genetics. There are there are still the Lee Priests and the Larry Wheels and the Ronnie Colemans of the world. That's what I would call real genetic freaks. But even if you don't have the greatest propensity for muscle growth, or you're starting off in not necessarily an ideal state, you're kind of rocking the skinny fat look. Don't take offense to that, but if you know it's true, then just take it as fact. That doesn't mean that you can't get there. That just means you've got a couple steps and hoops to jump through before you do. But it's always a guarantee. When I just did a whole little talk about this, and I kind of want to repeat it for anybody that didn't watch it. The percentage of people that can get in shape. How many do you think? Let's say, age. Let's say our age demographic, or not even our age, just the percentage of people in the world, or in the States. Most of you guys are in the States, but what percentage of people are in good shape and manage to have a decent workout routine I'm not even talking insane bodybuilder level. I mean, just going to the gym consistently, getting a good workout, breaking a sweat. You don't have to be a fucking complete nutcase about it. Just what percentage of people do that? What do you think? 5%? 3%? Honestly, 3% would not surprise me. But let's just say 5%. We'll be a little bit optimistic. Now, do you think those 95% who aren't doing it are even trying at all? No fucking chance. 80% of that 90% that don't work out hard don't even have a gym membership. So just going through the process of starting it, getting in the space, getting exposed to some actual workouts, talking to your buddies, having them lead you through some stuff, they'll do it. If you've got a friend in your group who works out like a total nut, and everybody does, the gym has become mainstream enough that everybody knows someone who works out hard as fuck and like they love it. That's their thing. They do it all the time. It's not even a question. If you go up to them and you're like, dude, can you maybe don't ask them to like write you out a full workout plan unless they're a really nice guy, because that might be pushing it a little. But if you just want to ask them for tips and like, how should I go about this? Odds are they're not going to see that as like, oh, this guy's fucking bothering me. They're going to see that as like, oh shit, yeah, nice. Because you know how often lifters get to talk about lifting in the real world? It's fucking never. That's why that's why I've got so much stuff to say in these videos, because I never talk about this in my normal day. Not everybody that I'm hanging around is a complete gym nut. So it's kind of everybody that's really into it, they probably have some fucking decently strong opinions they want to get out to you. So if you know someone like that, ask them for some tips. Just say like, dude, can you give me a basic arm day? I'll come to the gym with you. You can kind of give me some tips through it. Odds are they're going to do it. And that could be the first step to you becoming an absolute beast. I'm not even talking like getting to 250 pounds. That's outside the realm of normalcy. That is absurd. I know it. I know I'm doing it, but I know that is absurd. Even just getting to like a lean 180, that is sick. That is fucking baller, man. So if that's you, or someone like that who's like kind of half on the verge of getting into it, but they're not really sure, maybe you take it into your own hands as the experienced lifter and make them come with you. Because don't forget, the more gym memberships that people pay for, the better the gyms will be. Right? The bigger of a demographic of people working out means that there's going to be just more money floating around in the industry per se. Right? There's how many more gyms do you think there are right now compared to, in the 90s? That's actually kind of an interesting statistic to look up. I'm kind of curious, but it must have at least 100x'd in terms of at least mainstreamness and I don't know, widespreadness. Those are not the right words, but you get the idea. So the more people in the gym, the better the gyms. Odds are probably the cheaper the gym memberships, depending on where you're going. It just kind of makes sense to me. So that's the end of my little motivational rant. Make sure you're going hard, because if you're not, odds are you're probably just, in the grand scheme of your progress, twiddling your thumbs. So I know it's summertime, and you're thinking, oh well, it's too late for me to start dieting now. It's already June. Oh, well, who gives a shit? Pick one. And I don't mean bulking or cutting. It could just be even starting the gym. It could be adding cardio. It could be anything. Pick one thing that you haven't been doing, or that you're like on the fence about like starting, and you're not totally sure. Just pick one thing and try it for a few days straight. And that first day is going to be the hardest. The second day, probably similar difficulty. Anybody can go to the gym in the morning when they're extra motivated and say, I'm going to do my cardio this morning. I'll do the workout later. Right? One day isn't going to mean jack. Now, once you've done 2 weeks straight of it, it's going to become a habit. Once you've done 3 months straight of it, it doesn't even feel like a chore anymore. That's just what you do. And that's the end state of anybody who's trying to get really good at something. It shouldn't feel like a chore. it should not be on your to-do list per se. That's just what you do, like waking up, eating, and sleeping. You got to identify with it. If you can identify as a lifter that trains like a fucking demon, odds are you're going to be one. And that kind of comes with, you know, half, not delusion, but like half like real optimism for yourself, and half actually going through the process of pushing yourself hard, because then you're proving to yourself that you're on track to the goals that you want to achieve. Now, of course, I'm talking about this in a lifting context, but you can apply this shit to fucking anything. You know, anything cool that you want to do ever, odds are has a few components which are going to separate you from the people that can't do it. Number one is consistency. If I tried to play guitar for 1 hour a day, even if I didn't have the best teacher and I was just doing online YouTube lessons, if I dedicated 1 hour a day to trying to learn the guitar, by the end of the year, I could probably play some cool ass shit, right? But if I did an hour like once every 2 weeks, I'm not gonna learn anything. I'm not gonna know how to do it. Secondly, is going to come with your attentiveness combined with the consistency. Because guys go to the gym every fucking day, years on end, zero gains. And I don't think it's just because they've reached their genetic potential. Odds are their training probably isn't ideal. Their diet is not in tune with gains, and their sleep's probably shit. Plus, you're probably drinking a reasonable amount of alcohol. Literally just anti-gains, you know? So, if you can try to sort of program the rest of your day to match with the goals that you have gym-wise, odds are you're going to see gains for longer. Now, of course, there's a limit. There's never going to be a 500-pound lean freak. But progressive gains over time, even if they're just marginal percentages month to month to month, that's still gains. You're still killing it. But that's now I'm just getting all rambly. Final conclusive statement: go hard, do the shit for a long time, you will get results. Boom. And learn about tracking your macros. That's also a pretty big one. But plan for tomorrow, which is technically today, is you got a GNC meet and greet. That is gonna be quite the day. All I hope is they have AC. I guess that's all. But if you're there for that, that'll be cool. That will be freaking cool. So I'll see you tomorrow for, I think, legs. I'm not totally sure what though. We'll find out.